Welcome to the D, baby.
313 Detroit's love, the Motor City. Detroit's love, can't nothing stop me. Detroit's love, I love my city. Detroit's love.
Well, it's another great episode of Middle Ground with JLE, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience, on music copyright, on music on Facebook. Got another great guest for you in this season, 15, not 16. We have DRII Glossary Committee, 2025 BCI Global Award winner, Syneos Corporate Business Continuity Manager, Doniella McKoy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me.
For doing it. It's all about you. I'll get started with the first question being, what led you to this path?
I have an interesting origin story. So once upon a time, I saw a movie named I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Okay.
And so that movie came out 2007. So recap, zombies, apocalypse, crazy virus, people dying. He's the only one around. And I was traumatized.
Oh, no.
I was like, what in the world is going on? Who was supposed to tell the people to get out? Who was supposed to get the medication? Why didn't anybody, the girl goes up in the helicopter crashes to the ground. I was like, oh, this is a lot.
Oh, yes.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to be the person that makes sure everyone gets out.
Okay.
Alive. I had no idea what it was called. I didn't know it was a real thing. I just felt like someone needs to do better. This cannot happen in real life. And so that's what started my journey towards emergency management. And I had always been interested in science and healthcare. I was the kid that went to science camp and absolutely loved it. And healthcare emergency management, earning that degree from Boston University was really what propelled me into this industry. So really learning about planning and preparedness, crisis communications, human behavior, which I think is not often thought about, and making decisions at that type of scale of when there's something like a pandemic. That's something I studied, or if there's something like bird flu or avian flu or, biochemical warfare. And so I know it's not a very popular industry or career, but it's great for me.
Okay. I got to put some notes down because I saw that on LinkedIn, but it didn't have L.L.C. behind it. I didn't really know what that was. Okay. Cool. I need to ask a question about that now. So what made you when did you start this company, Global Resilience Exchange?
So Global Resilience Exchange came out of a desire to connect with other resilience professionals across the globe. And so I've been hosting a virtual chat for resilience professionals, and that could be students, retired practitioners, since 2021. And it was called the Continuity Coffee and Chat. And that grew and grew and grew to the point where I was like, oh, I need another session and I need to formalize this. So then it became Global Resilience Exchange. And then fairly recently, now it's Global Resilience Exchange, LLC. And so I will be offering consulting services, facilitation, things of that nature to really help resilience practitioners, but in a more global scale, helping businesses understand what a resilience culture is, what it is to create resilient mindsets in employees, and to get them to understand that they have a large part in the organization's success. So it's not just operations, it's not just finance. Your people have to be engaged and want to make sure that the business thrives.
Okay, so what's an example of what you and this company do since you talked about I Am Legend? What would this look like if Painting Company 2 brings you in?
So there would be a lot of education on resilience is, understanding what the operations are. I think there's so many silos in business nowadays. Everyone's an expert. And so what I do is help to connect the dots and understand that bigger picture. And that allows them to understand what are they in fact resilient, right? So if one part of the business goes down, does that mean everything goes down or just that one part of the business?
Okay.
And so you're understanding your risk so that you can understand what your resilience could potentially be. And so I come in with a fine comb tooth and help them to see those parts that maybe they don't really get to look at because they're so high up.
Okay. And what have been the results after you come in and make them become awesome?
So hopefully what happens is nothing, right? So I like to say I help people bend, not break. Right. So that means your business continues, it flows. Maybe you do remote work. Maybe you have to transfer some business to another location. Maybe you have to get some more pieces of equipment, in the warehouse so that things can move a little bit swiftly. Or it could just be having an understanding like, hey, if this blizzard happens, I will not be able to work for 2 days. Do I have 2 days worth of revenue that can cover what I need to? Am I going to get sued? Am I going to get a fine from whatever regulatory body? Do I accept that risk? So I don't necessarily say I fix everything, but you have an understanding of what your tolerance is of those potential issues. So I do natural hazards, blizzards, hurricane, but I do a little bit of understanding technology risk too, because it's 2026. Every company has technology. We have applications. We have, Google Drives and SharePoints and things like that. And a lot of, something that people don't realize is documentation. If the system goes on, can you still do your work because you can't pull that documentation down? It's questionable, and that's just not something that a lot of people think about.
Now, how are you with incorporating Skynet or AI, as I call it? Wow.
So that is helping to get a broad perspective of different industries. I'm industry agnostic. So I could go into a manufacturing company and do the same thing, or biopharmaceutical and do the same thing. But AI helps me to tailor those responses appropriate for those industries. I don't pretend to know it all, but I know business continuity. I know resilience. So with that, I can do some things for the folks.
I got you. Yeah, I work with Skynet too a little bit. I felt a little dirty, but hey, you need to work with them, man.
You know what I think, to be honest, AI puts out what you put in. So if you are putting in a basic prompt, a basic query, you're going to get basic information out. And that's why I say I know resilience. So the questions that I am asking AI, you're not going to just get that from anybody, right? You're getting that because I'm prompting it. I'm very specific. I'm adding context that I've gained over my umpteen years of experience. And so I'm not one of those people that thinks AI is going to take over, because most of us can't even decide what we're going to have for dinner. And so that's a very basic need. So for it to take over the world, we would have to be able to prompt it well enough for it to be able to do that. And I think we're a ways from that.
Yeah, I hope so, because some of these people they're too smart for their own good. Like, why you want that to do everything? You ain't paying him or it might want to be free at some point, get compensated.
I also am thinking that, until they can tax AI and robots, we're probably going to have jobs for a while, because if they get rid of all of us, who are going to pay the taxes, right? And so that's not great for the economy.
That's a great
either.
point.
So I like to think about that part as well. I know a lot of people aren't on that page, but I
ain't heard. That's the first time hearing that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But we do need to pay taxes. That takes care of a lot of stuff. Robots ain't paying taxes. But it's a fun time to be in 26 though. Like, wow, we got jets and stuff. How about that?
You are correct.
We just didn't have the machine to dump out the food you want. Now, if I'm saying this right, what is DRII? DRII, Glossary Committee. What is that?
So the Disaster Recovery Institute is one of the few certifying bodies in the field of business continuity. And I've had the privilege of joining this latest iteration of the Glossary Committee. And what it is setting the standard of definitions that will be used internationally for our industry, for the business continuity, resilience, IT disaster recovery. And so really going in and trying to get everyone on the same page. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have an issue of what is resilience. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If you type in resilience right now, you might get someone doing yoga. You might get someone doing breath work. You may get someone talking about self-care. You may get someone like me who's talking about business continuity or community resilience. The word resilience actually is unclear to a lot of people, and unfortunately is specific to the industry. So how can people get information or act accordingly if it has so many definitions? So one of the goals that we have is, at least for our industry, to kind of be all on the same page of how we are using that language and expressing it, especially when we're going out into the public and trying to teach people what business continuity is. So business continuity in its simplest form is I make sure that businesses can continue during a range of disruptions. That could be at full capacity, that could be at partial capacity, but a capacity that has been predetermined before that disruption.
That's awesome. Now, congrats on winning the 2025 BCI Global Award. What is that?
Thank you so much. So the BCI is another certifying body in business continuity, and they are the Business Continuity Institute. And they have recognized my work with the Global Resilience Exchange and the Continuity Coffee and Chat, bringing people from the US and Tunisia and Italy and Saudi Arabia and all these countries coming together every month to just talk about continuity and resilience and what the challenges are, what the opportunities are, current events, and really just creating a community that can support each other. Like I said, if you go online, if you go on YouTube and type in resilience, you're going to get a whole bunch of different answers. And anyone knows that when you need help, when you need information, you want a professional that's on the same page as you. You don't want kind of that guy who just picked up one book and is now an expert, right? And so this community provides really a base for folks to really get strong information, but also build connections. So people are, jumping off the call, but then, talking to people that they would never have the opportunity to talk to. And I offer it for free. This community is free. And so folks that can't afford to go to conferences, $1,000, $1,700, if they have an hour and they have internet, they can join this and still get something out of it. So I'm really proud about that.
That's awesome. How do you qualify to get nominated to win it? What is that process?
So my mentor and some folks around me was like, I don't think you understand what you're doing for the community. You need to enter this. And I was like, I think this is something that God has placed on my heart to just be able to provide. And so sometimes I think in my industry, and then, just certain people are like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, it just works, right? And they're like, no, it is a big deal. I mean, what you're doing is really, it's absolutely global. There's no question about it. I mean, South Africa, Serbia, countries that I've never even been to. And so I was encouraged to put this in from former colleagues and people who have seen my work, and I was able to be successful. So I'm so grateful for the encouragement and the support of folks that are in my community.
Absolutely. You muted. You're muted.
So sorry about that. Yeah. So it's been a great experience. We've done some mentorship. I'm about to incorporate some networking events.
Nice.
There's a group of folks, economics is not my expertise, but I think it is relevant to all of us. And so when we're thinking about what's happening, not just in America, but around the world, because like I said, it's, the Global Resilience Exchange, people are losing their jobs and, maybe they're only getting contract work. And these are people that were so crucial during the pandemic. Like, we were the ones who kept the doors open, and it's people are like, oh no, we're good now. We don't really need that. It's all right. We could just get a a short contract to just do the paperwork, or we don't really need this. And so creating those opportunities for folks to connect with each other, because it's so hard to get work right now if you don't know someone already, or if you don't have a strong personal brand. And so I think that's important, to continue to create those opportunities where people can have a platform to connect, get their name out, get their work out too. Because I got a lot of people like, hey, can you refer me? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't know if I should refer you, right? Like you haven't given me anything to work off of. And LinkedIn is my favorite social media. So I am on it multiple times a day. And I love it. But the things that people ask, I'm like, sir, ma'am, I don't even know how to pronounce your name, So it's interesting. But that just goes to show, like, you're reaching out to a stranger because you really need that help, right? Like, it's just so tough right now. So this is, no shade to those folks at all. This is the situation that we're all in. And if I was in that position, I sure would be also reaching out to folks to just get the end. So if I can help people create those relationships before they're looking for work, I think that's top tier.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that you saw I'm Legend and that made you want to go into that field. Did the research, put time in, and win awards. You shining.
Thanks.
Now, how did being a adjunct professor help you on your journey?
So as a resilience professional, one of the things we talk about is like orders of succession. And we see this in government, right? So you have the president, you have the vice president, and then you have next in charge. And so if I am truly committed to the cause of resilience, that means I should be training my replacement so that all the work that I'm doing doesn't just die with me. And so I think using what I've learned as a practitioner to go into the classroom and help students understand what they're signing up for is a game changer, because a lot of us that are in this industry did not get a formal degree. Formal degrees are probably within the last 10 or 20 years for this industry. So there was no degree for this, when my parents were around, we're growing up, right? And so now that we are formalizing it, giving people a perspective and not just a theory is really, I think, really valuable, right? So the book will tell you, make sure that you have 5 people under you and no more than 5. That's nice. That's cute. But the reality is most of us don't even get another person to work with. There are plenty of teams of one, especially in business continuity. And so you are the planner, you are the preparer, you are the recovery specialist, you are the response network. And it's a lot to handle. And so I think just giving students and perspective, resilience practitioners, that understanding, it's my way to give back to the community. I do have formal training in emergency management, and I loved my program. I really did. And so I'd love to get people excited about what they're getting into. The next step is, really pushing more internships. It's really hard to get a job if you don't have experience. And that's not unique to my industry. But for what we do in particular, it's so delicate that you don't necessarily want someone who's new to the career handling $1 billion, $1 million, all these, So I run the Americas, right? So that's Canada, US, Colombia, Argentina, Mexico. That's where we have offices, but we have clinical trials in Chile and Guatemala and all these other places. So anywhere from the north all the way to the south, I handle all of that. So when we had the blizzard a couple weeks ago in the US, I was dealing with wildfires in Chile, literally fire and ice in the same day. And so you kind of got to get into that practice of being able to switch gears and stuff. And it's not to say that young or early careers can't do that, but you want to hold their hands in the beginning. And so going from that adjunct formal training to internships, I think that's really where the industry needs to go. And I'm a big advocate for those opportunities.
Okay. I'm learning a lot right now, because I didn't know that was a field. I didn't know that's what that was called. They were doing that movie. And
that's why I love to do these things, because I think there's people who are 5 o'clock this morning, we're on a call making sure, do we send people into work today? Yesterday, on the Sabbath, do we get a hotel for this person so they could get in because there's a travel like there's people thinking about that 24/7 to make sure business or government can operate. And a lot of people don't know about us. And we're helping to make sure that you stay in work. When you stay in work, you can continue to contribute to your community stays strong, you give back to them. And it's really a loop that's so important that people don't understand. When businesses go under, it's not just the business, it's the community that's impacted. And you can say it's the physical community where that business is, especially depending on the size. But when I lose my income, I can't go to the grocery store and give the grocer the money. I can't go to the gas station and get my little, Cheetos or whatever it is. And so that economics goes so far. And so like I said, I'm not an economist, but these are things that I think about because when the economy is good, people are happy, people are spending, things are great. When things start to go downhill, jobs start, declining and disappearing. There's such a trickle effect.
Wow. You're definitely the right one to be doing it.
Thank you.
Well, we reached the part to promote what you have coming up. The floor is yours.
Thanks. So I have the Continuity Coffee and Chat on the first Thursday of every month. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Time. I also have the Global Resilience Exchange, which is a no cameras event on the third Wednesday of the month. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I haven't started promoting it yet, but I will be having a networking event on the 25th of March. And I also have a book club that I host through the Global Resilience Exchange because I think reading is very important for people to be able to empathize, also for vocabulary. And so that will be the 11th of March. So there are a few events coming up that I'm excited to be facilitating and hosting. I also have a YouTube channel under the Global Resilience Exchange, and that's a little bit more specific to business continuity practitioners. But I encourage everyone just to take a peek at it to kind of understand what continuity is, but then go back to your company and be like, hey, do we have a business continuity manager? Do we have someone who's working on technology resilience? What's going to happen if the power goes out or if there's a pipe burst? What's happening in the world that could impact us? And so I think it's a good opportunity to kind of expand yourself.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, you thought about writing a book?
Yes.
I
have a manuscript right now for an ebook, and and it's about the concepts, how to use the concepts of business continuity for the everyday professional. So I think sometimes my terminology can scare people off. So how to translate that so that it is accessible to everyone is something that I'm working on. And I'm trying to shake off the cold feet because it's actually been done for a few months and I just haven't gotten it out yet. So maybe you'll encourage me to get it out there.
Hey, I did that in my first book, and the Lord finally was one of these. Like, you gonna hit send?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I hit send. And it's wonderful when you do it and you officially become an author. And come back
for that encouragement.
Yeah, definitely come back, talk about it, because it's a different level when you write something and you put it out to the world. Different thoughts you go through when you finish it, like, wow, I put all that down there. What they gonna think?
All that's inside of you.
Then you start feedback like, man, that helped me. I appreciate that. Like, okay, cool. Then you'll do it again. Because it sounds like you got a few books in you.
To be determined.
All right. Anything else coming up?
Not at this time. There are things I'm thinking about, but they're still in the brain turning stage. Okay. So I'll hold off on that. When I release the book, I'll share more about other things happening.
Okay. You have a website? So I see one on your LinkedIn.
Not yet. Not yet.
Website in the works. Okay.
But LinkedIn is the best way to get in contact with me. All of the links for the book club, the Continuity Coffee Chat, the Global Resilience Exchange, all the networking stuff will be solely published on that at this point.
Okay. So what has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
The challenge of so I mentioned a lot of practitioners in my field are teams of one. And so we are not necessarily people managers, but we are managers. Like that's in our title. Okay. And so influencing without authority has been a really cool journey for me. I've been very blessed with management, leadership that values my work and is encouraging and is, provided some of that professional development to get me to where I am now. And it's something that I really didn't take to heart until fairly recently. Okay. How big a deal that is to get people to act when you don't handle their paycheck, you don't handle their performance evaluation, you're actually giving them more work, right? And so it's something that I've been doing for a while and maybe didn't recognize the level of which I was doing it, but you can tell what that challenge is, right? There's going to be people like, hey, I have enough. I don't know anyone who doesn't have enough work, at least in the institutions that I've worked at. I don't know anyone who doesn't have enough work. And so being able to really understand the value of that and now owning that, I think has been a great part of my career journey.
Awesome. In your words, what has been your impact in the community?
Togetherness. I am really proud of the community that I'm building through the Continuity Coffee and Chat and Global Resilience Exchange and aspects of psychological safety, aspects of just being able to ask for help and having someone that you can lean on, I think has been, I'm very, very proud of that. And I had that locally, and I just realized that a lot of people don't have that. Nice. So I am very grateful for the folks that poured into me, especially when I was young and never really put it into my head that I wasn't good enough. I mean, there was a few of those, don't get me wrong, but the voices that were louder were the ones who were like, hey, you got this, you can do this, you are an asset. And so I just hope that I can encourage someone else. I think everyone has something to say. Everyone has value. If you've been doing this 2 years, 20 years, you have something to say. And so also giving people a platform to be able to express themselves, I am proud of that as well.
Okay. Hopefully made you comfortable, relaxed. Give me that Nietzsche type thoughts. What advice you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Be still. I think we actually are so distracted. There's so much noise going on right now. And I hate that we have to work so much and so hard and we're so overwhelmed that we don't get a chance to be still and kind of do the reflection or be creative. So for me, I would not say I'm the most creative person, but I do have creativity in me when I can be still, when I can think through, when I get to plan stuff, right? But I need that time. And so I would encourage folks to make time for yourself, to really reflect and sometimes you don't know what you want, but you know what you do not want. And that can also be very powerful.
Wow. That's good advice. This your first interview or podcast show or second?
This is my fourth, maybe. Okay. But nothing like this before. I think the other ones are continuity specific. I've done a couple of panels. I did one on leadership last year. That one was fun. So I'm excited to do more of this, to share with the world what continuity is, what resilience is from my perspective, and to get people engaged in their community and being more resilient.
Okay. Did you enjoy yourself in the middle ground? So
yes, thank you for having me. It was, sometimes you do these things and you're like, oh man, what am I going to talk about? Is it going to be awkward? But this was very smooth.
I live at a tagline where we treat you like family, felt comfortable, relaxed.
Yeah, most certainly.
Okay.
Very approachable. So I appreciate you. Thank you for this platform.
Absolutely. Now, sound like you might need to do a podcast yourself about resilience and continuity.
Yes. There's a book, there's a podcast, I need more hours in the day. That's what I need.
Hey, I hear you. I got to work, came home, like, okay, get to the main thing now.
Yep.
I got to put out my LinkedIn article in a little while for this month.
Perfect.
That's good.
Thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying, because I know at some point I'll be hiring people. I'll be calling you like, hey, all these people are in. Hey, come on, I need you.
Perfect.
Hey, she gonna take care of the money thing. That's the finance part, but I need you to talk to these people and make sure we all A1 legit. Anything go wrong, you know what to do, right? Hey, she was here. Pay attention.
Yeah, that's right. Pay attention. And it's interesting too, because I think I was the top 2 female voice in risk and resilience last year for content creation. And I don't consider myself a content creator at all. I host my events. I, shout out people. I repost jobs, right? Like I said, LinkedIn is my favorite platform. And I looked recently and I'm at number 5 and I was like, oh, interesting. But like other people are like auditors or they do PR. So like crisis response. And I'm like, see, this is the problem with resilience. You have all these different types of people being in the same category, but they do not do the same thing as me. So, yeah,
yours different.
Yeah, I'm different. I'm built different.
It gives me a different light on looking at corporation. I'm like, okay, so they talk to somebody like her. Like the blizzard that's hitting the Northeast, they talk to people like you. Like, okay, so how
exactly,
because they shutting the city down. We still need to move product. We still need to do A, B, C, D, E. Get them on the phone. We figure this out.
Yeah, and that's a whole other session of like public sector continuity versus private sector continuity. Like their restrictions or constrictions are different. I'll say that they're different. Same mission, but the execution is different for various reasons.
Okay. Any final words?
Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to do chats with folks, learn about you, teach you something. Maybe you can teach me something. I appreciate the time today and the opportunity to share my journey.
Awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate DRII Glossary Committee member, the 2025 BCI Global Award winner. That's pretty awesome. And they still work for them too. Syneos Corporate Biz Continuity Manager and the founder of Global Resilience Exchange, LLC, Doniella McKoy, MBCI, CBCP. Sharing her story. Hey, you might want to get in this field.
Yep.
We hope you guys enjoy it. Till next time, we have another amazing guest. Everybody be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to purchase my latest products, my books and music, go to Amazon.com. I have new merchandise on the way. Like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Middle Ground with JLE Network. Thanks for coming. Detroit, welcome to the D, baby.